All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to All You Can Eat Chelsea episode 227 early super chat there. Thank you so much. We're going to keep the super chats right at the end. So don't worry, all those super chats are going to be read. So don't worry. But yeah, we've got a lot to discuss. I've got my boy Don here, and hopefully
Mm,
Matisse will join soon. He's just running a bit late. Eunice does have an emergency meeting that he needs to attend to, so that's fine. And hopefully we'll see, Javon pop down. I don't know whether Bubba's going to rock up today or not, but we shall see. Don, firstly, how you doing, brother?
mm.
What's been happening?
I'm good, man. I was there at the bridge on Saturday. Always nice to get
Mm.
an early kickoff and win. I heard a few people saying our record against teams 12:30 kickoffs hasn't been great, but a stat came out the other day that our last five
Yeah.
12:30 kickoffs on Saturday, we've won them all.
Oh,
Apparently, we've won
wow.
them all. So I don't know who made up that lie, because I saw online that apparently we've won them all, bro.
Do you know what? I always had this feeling that that early kickoff on the Saturday, it's not always great. I don't know why. Maybe I've
Mm.
got confused with other big teams losing during that time.
Yeah,
Maybe I've just thought that maybe Chelsea's also part of it. But if there's
you're
a
probably
stat
thinking of
out there,
Liverpool. You're thinking of
yeah,
Liverpool. Remember, they used to struggle with the early kickoffs.
100%. And maybe I'm just getting mixed up with all of that. But look,
Mm.
obviously we've got the game to talk about. We've got all the transfer shenanigans since our last episode till now.
Yeah,
So much has happened, bro. It's not even funny. So we're going to talk
mad.
about that. Do you know what? We're going to park the game for a second because obviously big 3 points, but there's
Mhm,
a whole heap of other stuff that has taken place. So we'll
mhm,
park that for a second. We're going to revisit that. I
mhm.
want to talk about this transfer window. It's been the hottest topic, obviously, deadline day yesterday.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of fans on social media. I'm pretty sure you've seen it as well, Don. They're
Mm,
not really happy with what transpired right at the end. We didn't get
mm,
Xavi Simmons. We were linked with Fermin Lopez, and that never took place.
mm,
We lost Jackson, and we didn't really bring any. Well, we bought Mark Yu. I
mm,
want to ask you before I give my opinion on it, Don.
mhm.
How are you seeing this
Yeah.
transfer window for us and the way it
Mm,
ended? Obviously, we got some good players in between, of course, but
mm.
where's your headspace at with the
Yeah.
way the transfer window ended for us?
Yeah. Look, I wasn't happy with what happened with the whole Xavi Simmons situation. Obviously, if the
Mm.
club right now with the FFP and whatnot can't buy players without selling first, that's understandable. But my
Yep.
problem is, yeah, if you know that's what the situation is, don't be putting it in our face 24/7 that Xavi Simmons is basically coming Chelsea. 85% chance he's coming Chelsea. Every 3 seconds, Fabrizio putting
Mm.
out the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. And I'm like, you're basically selling us dreams, right? I'd rather
Yep.
you say, listen, it's urgent that Chelsea need to sell to buy the player. They're very interested
Mm.
in him, and you keep it as that. But when you're putting it in our face 24/7, and then the last second Tottenham come in, right? Again, optically, that's not a great look. Tottenham come
Yeah.
in, they put the money
Yeah.
down, and you're just dilly dallying for a player that's literally been waiting for us for months, right? Turned down Bayern. Arsenal tried to sneak their way in, he turned them down. Spurs came a
Man
little bit
City as
earlier.
well.
Man City, apparently there was a few links there, but that never really went anywhere. So
Mm.
every single Chelsea fan expected this guy to be a Chelsea player. And I'll say many times, if we're bringing in Garnacho, I don't want Garnacho, but if you're bringing in Garnacho and Xavi Simmons, it kind of softens the
It's a
blow.
compromise. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
compromise. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
a compromise because Xavi Simmons can obviously play on that side as well. If you're overlapping
Mm.
Cucurella, you can play Xavi Simmons in a little left half space. Very similar to what
Yep.
Esteval does on the other side with Gusto
Yep.
overlapping. He kind of tucks into the little pockets, right? But it's a shame. It's a shame that happened with Xavi Simmons. Obviously, it's a shame what happened with Colwell because no one expected to go into the season with him picking up an ACL after
Mm.
the season that he just had, well, the end of the season and the start of the season that he had, right? The leadership that he was showing, the mentality that he was showing, the build-up that he was showing. So I understand from the club's point of view that there isn't a clear person in the market who can do what Cole does. Because having that
Yep.
skill is that skill to build up from the back the way that he does, not a lot of
It's
players can do it.
important.
Yeah,
It's
it's
important.
important. It's quite niche.
Yeah.
That skill is quite niche, bro. So Vega would have been amazing to bring back into the team for me, but I believe that relationship with him and Maresca is broken. That's the
over.
problem. Yeah, I think it's.
Do you know what, Don? Just
Mm.
on that, people disregard this relationship. Like they go, hey, the brother's contracted and he should play for Chelsea Football Club. He's got a long-term contract. They should abide. People disregard the fact that the relationship, the human element, and backstage we were talking about how you're in recruitment and so on and so forth. Like, how important is relation? Once the relationship is over, it doesn't matter what contract you have. It's over. It's done. It's finished. Like, same with Jackson. I feel like Jackson also had a relationship that kind of finished up with Maresca as well, more or less. Similar to Renato Vega.
100%, bro. You know, when you've got a manager that's basically showing you, not even just telling you, he's showing you that he doesn't really fuck with you, it's a problem. Because these players, they're human and they've got egos, bro. And when you're looking at players like Vega, he's got many clubs. His agent will be telling him every 2 seconds, bro, Villarreal are looking at you. Bayern Munich are looking at you. These teams are looking at you. So what loyalty does he owe us, really? Right? He's come to Chelsea. He was happy when he came and that. But if Maresca's not bringing him on off the bench and whatnot and showing him that he wants to use him, he's going to be unhappy. And that's why he left in the January. And for me, I don't think they've been able to mend that situation. Vega's not going to go to him and think, oh, you're going to trust me now, because now you're feeling a bit skeptical. If you didn't trust me before, why are you now going to trust me? You know, because you've clearly seen enough of me, right? You know what I mean? And I've got other clubs on my line. So people need to understand that, you know, yes, that these players might be contracted to us, but there's so many different things you need to think about, man. Like Jackson, you know, he's being told that he's third choice. He doesn't want to be third choice. There's all these clubs that are after him. Why is he going to sit around waiting for someone to get injured when he's got top club at Bayern Munich looking for him, bro? You know what I mean?
Do you know what? I want to talk about this Jackson situation because obviously that's the hottest topic at the moment. So many people, Don, been telling me, oh, it's embarrassing the way Chelsea has treated Jackson, man. Jackson's better than Delap, this, that, the other. Oh, but, you know, Matisse has been quoted to say, you know, we need 3 strikers. Don, all I have to say is that when Jackson was around last season, didn't people scream out that we need upgrade? Like, didn't majority of the fan base say we need an upgrade? Like, and then Chelsea go into the market. Not only they get an upgrade, they get 2 upgrades. They get themselves Ja Pedro and Liam Delap. Whether you think it's an upgrade or not, he's still a seriously good footballer. Like all of a sudden, people have forgotten what he did at Ipswich and the kind of goals that he scored. All of a sudden, people don't want to talk about it. So people were screaming, and people forget, Don, that the gilt-edged chances that Jackson was missing. And look, I'm a huge advocate of Nicholas Jackson. I've said it many times. He brings a lot to the plate. He's got a great, you know, burst of pace. He can carry the ball. He's got good link up with Palmer. Right at the end, I think it kind of even Palmer was getting fed up with Jackson. Now, so our directors go out there and do the business, and all of a sudden Jackson becomes sort of like a third option. Me personally, I think Chelsea was indirectly trying to tell Jackson, look, it's up to you. If you want to leave, you can leave. But right now we have other players in front of you. It's totally up to you. Jackson, on the other hand, looked at that and said, you know what? No, I've been the number 1 for the past couple of seasons. I want to be number 1, or I want to be important somewhere else. He finds himself a club with Bayern Munich. There were other suitors as well. I don't understand. Like, how can people how can people be upset with Chelsea in this position when I think we've done everything possible? Like, what's your take with the Jackson situation?
Bro, it's crazy to me. It's honestly crazy to me because number 1, this all starts from the club. Number 1, because you bring in this guy who came to Europe in 2019. He was playing in Senegal, up until 2019. So you're looking at a player that's had 0 development in Europe. He hasn't played for Barcelona like Mark Guill, He hasn't come through the academy like Colwell and Reece James and all of these guys, right? When you're playing academy football, bro, and you're looking at the facilities in Africa in comparison to Europe, it's different. The levels are different. So you're bringing in a guy that basically had no development. You've brought him in and you're depending on him now to be your starting striker week in, week out. That's where the club went wrong. Jackson should have never been the main guy, right?
He should have been the second guy. From the beginning, he should have been the second guy. Yeah,
exactly. He should have been the second guy. That's why we was looking at Osimhen, for example. That's why we tried to get Osimhen. And then we got burnt on the last day. He made it out as if, you know, He didn't budge, basically. That didn't end up happening. Right?
This guy saying, "Lol, didn't he play at Villarreal?" Yeah, of course, but
no, he went to
wasn't
Villarreal.
I don't think he was a starter there either. It was some other.
He was towards the end of the season, but you're missing the point. He came to Europe in 2019. His first club in Europe was in Villarreal, bro. Right? And when he first started there, he was a winger, and Emery turned him into a 9. Then he had a little bit of a purple patch towards the end of the season. He was outscoring his XG and whatnot. Then he ended up getting a move. Because at first, he nearly went Bournemouth, bro. Then his medical failed. He nearly went Bournemouth. His medical failed, went back to Spain. Then he came to England, right? Cool. But away from him, he shouldn't have been the main striker, cool. But away from all of that, bro, this guy has had so many opportunities, right? So many opportunities to improve, to develop. You can argue that, yes, he's a great facilitator. In terms of his link-up play, is quite good. And I thought in his first season, especially in the second half of the season, when he came back from AFCON, he was really good. Because if you remember me, before that, he was getting cooked, right? And I used to tell people all the time, like, okay, look, he's not a great finisher, but look at what he brings to the team. Then when he went to AFCON, right, and we were playing Broja up top and Palmer up top, you could clearly see that we're missing Jackson. That's when he started to get a little bit more respect, right? And he ended the season with 14 goals, no penalties, right? Cool. Second year, starts the season off amazing, scoring all types of goals. For me, he was the best striker on form, yeah? Everything he was touching was going in. And I'm thinking, yo, Jackson's been working on his finishing all summer. That's all we need. Because Jackson,
he looked really good last season in the early stages under Maresca. You're right.
I was at that game against West Ham away when he took the
Newcastle.
ball from
remember Newcastle at home as well.
Newcastle at home. Remember Palace? Yeah, when we went on the break, he scored. There's also a game against Leicester. When I was at that Leicester game again, he scored against Leicester. Buddy Shield played a long ball to him. He took it around. Finished. He started the season off amazing. But the second half of the season, bro, chance after chance after chance, right? Yeah. He started around that little Christmas period. I remember the game when we played against Everton in the wind. He missed some chances there. Palace away, missing chances. Fulham at home, missing chances. Bournemouth at home, missing chances, right? Time and time again. And even though we kept missing, Maresca still wasn't playing Guile, bro. He kept persisting with Jackson. And I kept saying, this guy right now is drowning. Give him something to fight for. Drop him and play Guile. He can't do any worse than Jackson in front of goal. I don't give a shit about the age or if he hasn't really got any Premier League experience. He is a natural striker. Play him and bring Jackson off the bench. He didn't do it, right? Then it ends up getting injured towards the end of the season. He comes back. He gets the red card against Newcastle in a period where we're trying to get top 4. Yeah, you're seeing in the Club World Cup when he missed, Palmer's kick in the post and that. The final against Betis. He scored
I think at that point Palmer had enough, bro.
It had enough of this stuff. Yeah. So if you think about it here, if you have to be fair, there's every right for the club to go out, and go bring an upgrade on this guy, because clearly, bro, we were dropping a lot of points because we weren't wrapping up games, right? Goals change games, and for me, that's why I've put us, to compete this year, because I think we've got more goals in the team, right? We might not have the greatest defense, but we've got more goals in the team. Yeah. Jackson missed 19 big chances, bro. And some of these chances missed, bro. We're not professionals, but I promise you, me and you will score them, bro. Yeah. I go well, every single week.
You were gonna say about the Conference League one, if you remember, bro. Through ball, and he was 1v1, and that big touch. Oh my god,
bro! I was watching the game with I think my mum, and she was like, "What's going on? Like, what type of touch is that? Man, just let the ball just run away from him." And I'm like, you know what I mean? There's times he'll just fall over in the box. The movement, that's why I love going to games, because I watch him closely in the box to watch how he is in the box, right? And there's times where he's playing as if he's watching the game with me on the side. Just ball watching, bro. Yeah, just ball watching. And I'm like, Sancho's putting a ball there. Neto's putting a ball there. Why are you not there, right? But again, he is not a natural striker. It doesn't come natural to him, right? Yeah. So we had to upgrade on this guy. João Pedro is Jackson's upgrade, because they're similar profile. Yeah, they're a similar profile, but Pedro is a better version of Jackson, because he's got a smarter brain. He's better in the air. He's a better finisher. He's a better all-round player. So when people are trying to come for Delap, I'm like, bro, it's not Delap you should be coming for. It's João Pedro you should be coming for.
João Pedro you should come for. Exactly.
He's the one that snatched Jackson's chain. Delap is a different profile to Jackson, so we need him.
Correct.
Yeah, we need him. We can't be having Pedro and Jackson. It's the same thing. You take Pedro off the pitch, you're bringing Jackson on. You're not really changing the game much.
You're
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And on this whole situation, people keep thinking, oh, but we should have kept Jackson. Don, I'm a massive believer. You can't have João Pedro, Dilap, and Jackson. Like, they're all competing to be starting. You can't have, I don't know any other Premier League that has three, right? Like, for some reason.
Unless you're starting two strikers, then Jackson potentially could have stayed. But that was never the plan. The plan was never to start both of them.
It only became the plan. People forget because Palmer's injured. If Palmer wasn't injured, João Pedro plays up front, Palmer in behind, and Dilap's in the bench, right? And then obviously they rotate. So why can't people comprehend? There is no way you can have Jackson, Dilap, and João Pedro all in this. Bro, have you seen our bench? Who are you going to... Garnacho's in now. We were talking about Xavi Simons at that point as well. Who are you going to remove from the bench if you look at the bench? Because you need certain number of defenders. You need a goalkeeper, backup goalkeeper. You need some midfielders. You need some wingers. Who are you going to remove to put Jackson in the bench? And Jackson simply ain't going to want to be in the bench. So people need to realize Jackson he saw the situation and he said, you know what? I'm not going to get any more game time here.
Yeah.
I need to bounce.
No one's going to sit here and tell me, if you've got a chance right now, no one's putting money on Jackson to finish a chance over Dilap or João Pedro, right? If you want to talk about Jackson's link-up plays, all-round game is a better footballer than Dilap, cool. But end of the day, I want my striker to be able to score me goals, bro. Because the best chances tend to fall to the striker, yeah? A lot of the chances that kept falling to Jackson, he was getting most of them because he's our striker, bro. You know what I mean? And I was sick and tired of it last season where I'm seeing the defense holding out, playing really well. You know, the attack are just missing. Remember that game we played Ipswich at home, yeah? Bro, in the first 10, 15 minutes, we should have been at least 3-0 up. Enzo plays the ball to him across the box. He just kicks at it. It hits the post, right?
Don, how many games last season that we left at halftime or even at full time thinking, how are we not winning this by a long margin? Like, bare amount of chances and we didn't convert. This comment here, I just want to quickly touch base on this. Ms. Maresca plays with two strikers. We need a third. No, you're only thinking about the last couple of games because Cole Palmer is not available. Maresca does not play with two strikers unless that has changed. Once Cole Palmer is back, is not going to play with two strikers. I'm telling you right now, it's never been the case. Like, I don't know, Don, do you see, is Maresca looking to play with two strikers?
In some games, I think he would, innit? I think he would, but people are trying to make it out like he was going to do it in every game. I don't think he would have done it in every game. And I'm seeing people saying, oh, we had Drogba, we had Anelka, we had Kalu and that. I don't think anyone's against having a third striker. The conversation here,
those days are over. Those days are over. Do you know what I mean?
It's not even just that, Miz, but for me, it's more Jackson was never gonna be a third choice. He was never gonna accept that, bro. Right? I don't think people need to go remind themselves of the Club World Cup. Yeah, João Pedro came in and wasn't even training for 1 week. He started ahead of Jackson. Right? He started ahead of him. Dilap was the one that came off the bench. When Jackson came off the bench in the Club World Cup, he gets himself sent off, bro. Yeah, he got himself sent off. And I remember there was a game when he came back and he was fuming off the bench. And I'm like, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. Imagine right now, Miz, you've been working somewhere for, I don't know, 5 years, right? You work in a sales job, for example. A new guy comes in now. He's the new boy in town. He's getting all these sales. He's getting all these offers and whatnot, yeah? And then all of a sudden, your company are telling you, by the way, we're going to move you to the back of the room. We're going to put him over here. We're going to sit him where you've been sitting for the past 5 years.
Yeah, I'm gone.
I'll be looking at it like, wait, what? This what you're doing?
Yeah.
And straight away, you're on Indeed now. You're Indeed. You're applying for jobs now. You're looking because you feel like you've been mocked. Yeah. You feel like you've been mocked, but it's an ego thing, right? Because the company are like, bro, this guy's performing right now. We're gonna move him. But you're looking at it like, raw. I've been doing this for God knows how long. How can you guys do this to me? You know what I'm saying?
Man doesn't want to go backwards. I don't want to go backwards. Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, I'm in the back end. No, I've been in the front end, and I've got suitors out there, and I can be. So look, just to sort of wrap up this situation before we move on to the next one. Look, ladies and gentlemen, Jackson, whether you like it or not, whether it was directly or indirectly, Chelsea made a conscious decision that João Pedro and Delap are going to be the ones moving forward. And the fact if Jackson wants to stay, he can stay. If not, in this case, Jackson didn't want to stay. He moved on. And I think Chelsea wanted him to move on as well. Now, a lot of people, Don, will say, this is the side topic from it. Well, now Delap's injured. Now you're stuck with João Pedro only. What happens if João Pedro gets injured? Now you're going to be in big trouble. Well, let me put it this way. What happens if this guy gets injured? What happens if that guy gets injured? You can't look, the planning was always Delap and João Pedro. You can't have another third top striker. I don't see any Premier League team operate this way. I know people are going to say, oh, we used to have Kalu, we used to have Anelka.
We used to play two strikers. When we had them guys, we used to play two strikers.
and not just that. Back in the days, I don't think FFP was a thing back in the day, was it?
No, it wasn't. It came into play quite late after Man City bought the club, after the Qataris, isn't it? The Qatari?
Dubai.
Yeah.
Dubai.
It came in after that. Yeah.
So back in the days, like Roman he played fantasy football, man. He just lined them up. And if you remember, Don, I'm pretty sure you do, and the live chat will do as well. As Don said, we played with two strikers most of the times.
These kids are too young to remember. They don't know.
They don't know. But most of the times, if you look at the bench, you had Kalu, if we had a Kalu type of a player right now, who's happy to be, playing from the bench, no problems. We don't have that type of a player. We have all three players that wants to start. So, Don, what do you say to those people that go, "Oh, you're just one injury away from João Pedro," and we haven't really backed it up? It's so difficult to prepare like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, those people just don't understand the dynamics of the game. They just really don't, because you're looking at three strikers who basically aren't even in their prime yet, right? João Pedro for me is in his prime right now, but he can get even better on this. Like we haven't seen João Pedro, you know what I mean, get into the next level. This is the next level for him.
This is the next level.
Yeah. Delap, same thing. Jackson, for me, same thing. I've said many times, I think Jackson's going to be a late bloomer. So these guys they want to play, right? The only way you're going to be able to bring in a third choice, someone that's going to be happy, is bringing in a has-been. Yeah, guys like Giroud.
Exactly.
Guys like Hardy. They're the guys that are happy to be third choice.
Our club doesn't do that. Our club doesn't do that.
Our club don't do that. I said many times I would have taken Jamie Vardy as a third choice, because he takes care of his body, and even though he's nearly 40, he doesn't look like it, bro. He plays like he's still in his 20s or maybe early 30s, but he's gone to Italy now, and that would have never happened either, right? It's either you bring in a has-been as a third choice, or you promote a youth team player like a Maweka, or you bring in something like that.
An absolute raw player. Yeah.
So when you've got a Maweka, even if he doesn't play for the first team that week, he can still play for the 23s. Right, he can still drop down the level to 23s, but he can still get that experience training with the first team, being around the match days, understanding how it works, match days and all of these things, right? So people need to understand, bro, you're never going to have... Remember Man City, bro, the Alvarez and Haaland thing? I knew that was never going to last, yeah?
And that was just two strikers. That was just two strikers. And Alvarez bounced. And Alvarez
cut out. Remember Aston Villa with the whole Duran and Watkins thing? That dynamic, again, was never working, yeah? And that was only two people.
And that was only two.
That was only two people. You know what I mean? So end of the day, yes, I would I'm sure Miz would love a third striker as well. But the reality is it's very difficult right now to find someone that's going to be happy to do that. I was more than happy to promote Maweka, right? More than happy to promote it.
Same.
So that's all it is, people. That's all it is. It's very rare for both your strikers to get injured together. Very, very rare. We got unfortunate last year, bro. we was unfortunate for us.
And it's no one accounts for, like, no one thought, okay, maybe one of these players will pick up an injury here and there, but no one accounted for Delap to be out for maybe 3 months. No one accounted for that. Do you know
Bro,
what I
his
mean? Like,
injury record is spotless. His injury record is amazing. That's what
exactly,
we've got. It's a curse. It must be a curse, right? Because his injury
exactly.
record is so good.
And and people now don't they say that, oh man, hopefully Jao Pedro stays fit. There's a lot of game for him. All I have to say, Don, and I'm not making a comparison here, but
Mhm.
Mo Salah of Liverpool, Don,
Mm.
does he not play every single Premier League game or not? Mo
Yeah,
Salah.
he plays every game. What happens if he
Okay.
gets injured? What
Now,
happens if
does he
he
not
gets
play?
injured?
Now, does he not play every single game in the Champions League, Mo Salah?
He does.
Okay,
He does.
so it's okay for people to expect Mo Salah to play, but it's not okay to expect. Why can't João Pedro play all the important games in the Premier League and all the important games in the Champions? Why is that so difficult to comprehend? That I believe in this player to play all of these games.
Mhm.
Okay, don't play the Carabao Cup, don't play the FA Cup, but
Mm.
why is it without players? Oh, how are they going to play all of these games? What do you mean?
Mhm. This
There are
this what they're
players
built
out there
for.
doing it.
This is what they're built for, man. They go gym every day. They have all these diets. They have private chefs. They've got all these personal plans and that. João Pedro, again, his injury records is quite good as well, right?
Quite
So,
good.
bro, like, I'm not saying play him 90 minutes every game because he will be taken off. There's 5
Of
subs.
course.
This is where I'm looking at Maresca now with the Mark Gill situation. Yeah, thank God he's coming back, right? Last year he should have been played a lot more. This time round, Maresca needs to play him, yeah. Because if you're playing João Pedro, I know we want to see João Pedro most of the time, but bro,
Yeah.
give the guy some rest. Don't be playing him too much to the point where it's like Gil was not even getting a look in. Yeah, we need to be using this guy, whether that's playing him with João Pedro, so João Pedro can play off of him, and then you start Palmer on the right hand side in the little pocket with Gusto overlapping. Right? There's so many different ways you can use this guy. You bring him off the bench for a good 30 minutes, 20 minutes, not 5 minutes. Yeah. Hopefully we're winning these games where he's coming on and we're winning the game already. Yeah.
100%.
You need to use him. I don't want another season where we've got this kid and we're not using him. Right. I don't care about the age. There's a lot of people that aren't familiar with him. Just go do your research on the guy. He's 18 years old, but he's 6'4". I think he's like 6'4". Massive. Yeah. When I've seen this guy in person, I'm like, yo.
I loved your comparison the other day. You tweeted it out. He's not much different to Dilap. Yeah, okay, Dilap's advanced a little, but you're right in terms of profile.
Yes,
Hugh is not much different to Dilap. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, he's very, very similar to Dilap, and that's why Ipswich tried to get him. When we bought Dilap, remember McKenna came in saying, "Yo, we're trying to get this guy," and he said no, he didn't want to go to the championship, right? But his overall game, he presses like a beast. Yeah, I haven't. It's quite rare to find strikers that press like him because he's rapid, bro. The way he presses in the front, it's like Vardy. Yeah, and I remember I was even showing the boys in one of my group chats when we signed him because I was doing my research on him. Yeah, I was showing them clips, right, of goals or situations where the defenders are panicking and that just from him pressing, right? And there was at least 2-3 examples I showed them of him actually creating an opportunity for himself just from pressing the ball.
Just by pressing, yeah.
Right. So there's that. There's the movement. The other day he scored for Sunderland. I don't care.
That was a lovely header, bro. That was a lovely header.
Lovely header. I don't give a fuck if it was against Huddersfield. Yeah, I'm looking at the fundamentals of that goal. Look at his movement.
100%. Look at the fundamental. I always say, don't worry about the opposition. Look at the fundamentals of how he moved, how he glanced the header. Like that's got nothing to do with the opposition. That's all his skill set, basically.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's his skill set. If you guys remember the hat-trick he scored in the Conference League, Shamrock Rovers or not, go look at the header that he scored when Madueke crossed in the ball. Yeah. This guy is good in the air. He's good in the box. He's very sharp, right? I remember when he came off the bench against West Ham, the game that he got injured, right? One of the goals that we scored, Neto was looking for him in the box and he was bringing the centre-backs back with him. Yeah. He whips it into the box. Gil misses it. It comes back in. If you remember Cucurella, I think Cucurella like taps it back in. Neto scores the goal. Right? On the ball and that, like he's a good player. He's a good player. It's just that people don't really know much about him. When Barcelona sold him, they were going crazy on Barcelona Twitter, bro. They were going mad because he was on the verge of breaking through. Yeah. He was playing. I'm watching games of this guy when he's 15, 16, and he's towering over everyone else, bro. towering over everyone else, and he's playing with Yamal, he's playing with Fermin Lopez. Like, he came from Barcelona, but people are acting like we bought this guy from Plymouth. We bought him from
as you said, just needs to be given a chance. And I'm sure this time around, Maresca, like as you said, you know, final 10, 15 minutes of the game, we're ahead, throw him in, see if he can get that extra goal. Do you know what I mean? And really get his confidence level up. There'll be, I mean, our Champions League, you know, fixtures look pretty mad. But there's games against Karabakh. There's games against another team I forgot. You know, where he could potentially get some opportunities as well. So look, you're right, bro. Like, honestly, and this is where I want to now take the next bit of this conversation. Don, I see a lot of people very worried, bro. They're like, oh my God, you know, poor window. Once again, we're not going to be doing nothing. Don, look, I'm done feeling negative about the club for the past 3 years. Like, I'm tired, bro. I'm not even doing this because now I'm forcefully being positive. No, I've literally seen, Don, over the last 4 months, there's been a shift in the squad, bro. And by that, what I mean is mentality shift. That shift is far stronger than any kind of shift that I can ask for. When I see my team mentally grow the way they have over the past 4 months, qualifying for the Champions League with the way that we did, you know, ended up, you know, putting a nice string of games, taking care of the Conference League, being behind 1-0 against a very, very robust team in the first half. We were not looking good. We came back strongly. Taking care of Club World Cup the way we did and winning the final the way we did against the European champions, absolutely creamed all over them. Bro, I've seen a massive change in this team. And even this season so far, it started against Palace. Okay, sure, it was lackluster, but you know, we have to understand that's the first game of the season. We didn't have a proper preseason. Players didn't have enough break. No problems. Then we smashed West Ham. We took care of Fulham. Whatever people want to say, lucky. I don't think it was lucky one bit.
It was not lucky. That was not a lucky win. No way.
I saw your VAR the post regarding VAR. Spot on. Both the decisions were right. I don't know why those people out there saying sorry and this, that, the other. They got the decision
wrong. It's the same face.
Yeah, you got the decision absolutely right. Don, I'm at a situation. I'm thinking, I trust my squad, man. I trust this squad. I trust the mentality that's growing. I trust the chemistry that's going. I feel the manager is growing as well with the team. There's a mad cohesion going. I don't want to keep looking at, oh, but we don't have a goalkeeper. Oh, but we don't have a centre back. Oh, we don't have this. Let's start looking at what we do have.
What we do have,
Very, very good midfield. We've got a very strong attack. We've got players that are not dead. They'll be back from injury, and it's only going to bolster. I'm looking at other teams. Look at our fullback. Bro, I'm looking at other teams in the Premier League. Tell me one team that doesn't have flaws. Every team I've seen so far, Man City look like they're cooked, and you called that from the get-go as soon as you started being in all-you-can-eat Chelsea. I look at Liverpool. Sure, they look awesome in terms of attack, but they've got flaws as well. Arsenal, they look like they don't really want to play football anymore. All they want to do is just throw-ins and So, Don, what am I worried? Like, what am I worried about, bro? What am I worried about?
This is the thing, though. Like, again, I understand people's frustration with the centre back situation, right? But I understand it from both sides. Like I said earlier, Miz, it's hard to go and find someone that can do what Cole does for us, and that's why I said internally I would have rather have just kept Anselmino. And you're seeing the other day against Dortmund, right? You saw the game against Dortmund. What I was saying about this guy baller. Man, I'm saying, yo, Don, you were right about this guy already, and that, yeah, cool. There's that. But broski, look at the team that we've got. Look at the fullbacks that we've got. Yeah, number one, Cucurella for me is the best left back in the world. Some guys are gonna say the best. Minimum 7 out of 10 you get from that guy every single week, bro. Minimum, yeah. 100%. Some guys are gonna say it's my man at Mendes at PSG, bro. I've seen Cucurella face up against him in the final and cook his ass in terms of the performance. I've seen Cucurella go from, you know, being third choice at Chelsea, go into the Euros, and play ahead of Grimaldo, who just won a a league without
Don,
losing the game.
have multiple positions, Cucurella. But I've seen Cucurella play half spaces up front, scoring goals for Chelsea. He can play left back. He can play LCB. He can play, inverted midfield. What can he do, bro? What can he do, bro?
He does everything. He does everything. And the way that he counter presses is amazing. He gets us goals. 2025, bro, he was our highest goal scorer at one point. Again, going back to Jackson and the misses, you've got Cucurella being your highest goal scorer. Yeah. You're talking about Reece James, the best right back in the world. Yeah. The best right back in the world. Yeah.
And it seems like he's keeping fit. It seems like he's keeping fit.
He's keeping fit. You're looking at Gusto right now, looking back to his best.
Looking better. Looking better.
Looking much better because Maresca's now overlapping him. He's not telling him to go and invert. Maresca's learning. He's like, yo, that didn't work for him. I'm going to go back to what worked for him. He's looking a lot better. He's looking like he's enjoying his football again. You're looking at our midfield depth. Yeah. Santos, Asugo, Lavia, Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo, right? There's so many players that you can play in there. And even without Lavia, I'm still all right because Santos is there and Asugo is there. Yeah. I'm looking at Liverpool. Look at their depth. Their depth is Endo, Jones. Who else is their depth in that middle, bro? Endo and Jones. They've just sold Harvey Elliott. So that's
exactly
that's another player that's gone. Yeah. So their depth ain't as good as ours.
And the players they have in midfield right now, bro, they're not closing down games, bro. Like there's holes in that midfield as well. So yeah, their attack is shining, but there's massive holes in that midfield, and you can really get in on their defense. If you're a clinic, bro, Bournemouth has shown that.
Yeah. Newcastle.
The other Newcastle have shown that.
Yeah.
Arsenal's the only one. They just didn't want to do anything against Liverpool.
Yeah, but then even with Arsenal, Zubimendi goes down right now. What profile have they got to replicate what he does? Because Rice can't replicate what Zubimendi does. They haven't got Partey no more. Yeah. Whereas with us, you don't play Caicedo. You've got his twin. Yeah. You don't play Lavia. Yeah. You don't play Lavia. You've got Santos. Right.
You got Santos. Yeah.
You're looking at our right wing situation. You've got Esteval, who is amazing. This is the wonder kid. Yeah. Esteval on that side. Neto can play on that side. Right.
Look at Esteval cooking like proper professional pros in Fulham. Look at him cooking those players, bro. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what's even funny, bro? I watched United against Fulham. Yeah. Bassi locked up in Mbeumo, bro. And Mbeumo's got a lot more experience than Esteval. Esteval done him up. Yeah. And he should have gotten the ball more against Fulham as well. Right. You're looking at the left-hand side. That's the side where, personally, for me, I would have brought in Rodrigo. I would have brought in different players. Like
that's the suspect side. That's the suspect side.
The left side is the suspect side, but I'm not going to look at the left and think it's useless. Gittins can contribute in this team. He's not looking as confident.
Bro, look at this comment, bro.
Don't worry about Jack. There's something not right there. There's something not
I don't know. I don't know how. Like it's like I need to forcefully be. My team, I truly believe in my team, bro. Like, I don't know what these people want me to say. Like, do you know what I mean, Don? Like, I'm not sure what they want us to say. Just bash the team. Like, there's nothing good about the team.
No, this guy's
literally doing well.
This guy, I always see him in my chat. I always see him in the comments talking about, I don't know, man. Is this? We'll talk off stage in that. But yeah, it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, left hand side for me is the questionable part, because personally, I would have signed guys like Ndai. You know, what's his name? Rodrigo. I wouldn't have signed that though. Yeah, I like Gittins, and I would have probably signed him as a backup. But the Garnacho signing, I don't really like it. But I have to be honest, he will contribute to the team. As much as I didn't want him, I know how many times he gets in goal scoring opportunities, bro. He misses a lot. That's the problem. But he will contribute to the team. Same thing as Gittins. These guys will contribute to the team. And then you're looking at Palmer again, GNA, bro. You're looking at Enzo again. That's GNA there. You're looking at up top, João Pedro, amazing. Delap will come back.
Pedro Neto, you're forgetting Pedro Neto.
Pedro Neto as well. For me, again, Guy will contribute if he's given the minutes. Yeah. So Sanchez, cool, he's in goal and that we can get an upgrade on this guy. But the bigger picture here, I don't mind waiting for Pendas. If we've got to deal with Sanchez for another year, I don't mind if that means that we're going to bring Pendas into the fold. Yeah. So the only little area that I'm thinking about is,
and not just that, Don, not just that, just quickly, not that, that. If the defense stays strong and grows as well, that'll only help Sanchez not to be exposed as well. Like all of this matters, bro.
Look at our games, yeah. So against Palace, they scored that goal early doors, yeah. They had more than enough time to create chances. They created fuck all. They had one chance from Mateta that Sanchez had to save. They did nothing else, right? West Ham are rubbish. Cool. I'm not going to count them too much, but Again, they had a little 15, 20-minute spell where they're on top of us. They did nothing. A lot of the game, I'm telling you, Caicedo, that's 2 games in a row now. He blocked the ball off the line.
Bro.
Yeah. Amazing.
Big block against Fulham, bro. Caicedo, that block in the first half, bro.
Big block. And what really frustrates me, when people talk about our centre-backs, bro, we defend as a team. It's not just our centre-backs that defend. It's the whole team that defends. João Pedro, either box. Caicedo,
Pedro Neto defense. Do you know what I mean?
Pedro Neto defense. Even Estevao defense. They all defend together, right? And that's why you're not really seeing Sanchez really scrambling much right now. Because, bro, Palace scored 2 against Liverpool. They scored 0 against Chelsea. Yeah. Fulham scored a goal against Man United. They scored 0 against Chelsea. Yeah.
But West Ham scored 3 against Nottingham Forest away from home.
They scored 1 against Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, boy, all I'm saying is, yeah, listen, it's annoying with the whole Colwell thing, but I'm sorry. It's not the end of the world. We ain't the only team that's going to have key players getting injured. Cherki is injured already. Saka is injured already. Havertz is injured already. Yeah. Rodri, what if Rodri gets injured? What's Man City going to do if Rodri gets injured again?
Man City are cooked anyway. Their defense, bro, I'm scared for Man City, bro. I'm really now worried because they've been exposed by Spurs, and Spurs weren't even good. Spurs got beat by Bournemouth, by the way. That Spurs, after the back of the City game, everyone's like, ooh, Spurs looking pretty dangerous this season. Well, they just got beat by Bournemouth. Like straight after they got beat by Bournemouth. So, bro, not many teams out there that are looking fully ready to go. So I don't think Chelsea fans should feel like, bro, it's fair game. The way I look at it, it's fair game. And then there's the January window as well. If we do need to fix things up, do you know what I mean?
100%. Hopefully, Badiashile and these guys can come back just to add more bodies. Lavia, again, he's important. With our build up right now, it's only really his brother. Yeah, he just woke up.
Lateness is truly greatness, bro.
You've been nicked, mate. You've been nicked, man. Put your hands up.
Put your hands up, bro. Put your hands behind your back, bro.
This guy's actually been nicked.
Bro, when I looked at the time, I said, fuck. You know them ones. You know them ones where you wake up, you look at the time, you're like, bro.
I've done that a couple of times with work. I can't lie, bro. But I start work at 9. I'm all waking up at 10 o'clock and that.
I'm telling you, there's nothing worse yet. Because I was looking forward to this. I thumbs up the link. I'm like, yo, we're gonna talk. Bro, apologies, brother. Apologies.
No, that's all right, bro. You know what?
Tired,
Matisse,
bro.
Okay.
I can fully understand, bro. I think Big Six finished like at midnight or something, bro. It was ridiculous. I'm gonna start
slapping these lot, you know. And you know what's bad? I gotta upload that show to Spotify after, so I'm not even going to bed when that's done. I'm getting the file, I'm downloading it, upload. That's my new thing now. Oh, I'm gonna
bro. I hear it, bro. I hear it, bro. Now, but the live chat was like, we need more, because me and Don were being very, very positive. And I know, Matisse, I saw your video that you dropped yesterday. You weren't happy to a certain degree, but at the same time, you were happy with certain things. I want to bring you in because Don and I, we've been saying that too many times, and I'm seeing a lot of people in social media as well, like worried about our situation off the back of the transfer window, getting worried that that team's done their business, this team's done their business. But Matisse, I'm looking at the Premier League so far, early days. I don't see a single team that doesn't have a flaw. Man City look like they're cooked. Liverpool, sure, they got a formidable attack, but every game they look like they're about to concede. I've seen Bournemouth take the game to them. I've seen Newcastle with a man down take the game to them. Arsenal look like they don't want to play football anymore. I don't know what's wrong with them. They want to just rely on set pieces. I hear what you said in your video that this was the opportunity. We needed to bolster and really take it. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of good in the team as well. And I feel like what we've really done over the past 4 months, I'd say, is the mentality has grown. And I feel like the cohesion with the group has grown. So Matisse, like, are you not somewhat looking at our team and thinking, nah, like there's still, it's not really half empty. I would rather look at it as half full. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, it's difficult for me because I think the window obviously just shut, right? And The back end of the window was nasty for me. Nasty for me. Personally, I looked at the way it ended. I thought, damn, like you. Now, when I say we failed, what I mean by that is I feel like we've partly failed the manager, and I feel like we've partly failed some of our best players. And what I mean by that is I don't think we've given them what we could have to go and really, really say no excuses.
I hear that.
No excuses. You can win the league. We've given you everything we've got. No excuses. I feel like we've given them 1 or 2 excuses. I feel like, look, the striker situation, I know Don, me and Don always going back and forth on Gu, but regardless of how good Gu can be or what he will be this season, which now we have to get behind him. Hopefully he can take his chance. Maresca didn't trust Gu. So the manager, for me, it's like he now doesn't have a striker that he even trusted last season when we had lower expectations, when we had less stress in terms of European competition. Now you've got more on your plate and you've got higher expectations, or at least this expectation should be slightly higher. And regardless, the season just became more difficult regardless of expectations. Even if you expect top 4, the expectation is the same, but it's more difficult with Champions League and it's more difficult after Club World Cup because as we can see, there's a lot of injuries. Now, the glass half full is, I agree with you. The other teams, they're not perfect. In fact, I made that video about half an hour before the deadline. I knew we weren't doing shit. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna start talking. I'm gonna start talking. I'm gonna start creating. However, I thought Liverpool would get Mark Gurhey. Liverpool not getting Mark Gurhey. I was like, oh, I got a little pep to my step. That's a huge, but this is the thing. Other people's weaknesses are making us stronger. That's how I see it right now. Like, we've got weaknesses, but because they didn't get Mark Gurhey, that's massive. That's big. Now, they'll probably get him in January. They'll probably get him in 6 months. But look, we could get someone in 6 months. 6 months this is how it stands. No
long
defender.
time. Yeah.
Bro, they got Konate injured. He's injury prone anyway. Gomez injury prone. You're clutching at straws, but you know now if they have issues back there and they're also in 4 comps, then what can you do? Do I think it's fair to give Mark Gu a starting role at Chelsea when, look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. At Sunderland, he wasn't starting a couple of weeks in. However, we know what happens when you send people down to them teams there. That's why Championship was my kind of thing. Go Championship. You're going to start, bang 20 goals, enjoy yourself. And your value is going to soar. But do I feel comfortable with Gu up front week in, week out? Because I know Pedro's got to play 10. Not really, no. So, and he can't even play Carabao Cup.
But you don't think Pedro's gonna go back up top and then Palmer back in the 10?
Well,
I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
I don't know where Palmer is. Is he fit? Is he gonna be okay?
He'll be back.
He'll be back. Hopefully, hopefully.
Look, he may not be back because they were talking about he's got that right side groin injury and he's already missed 2 games, right? 2 weeks. He's got now a couple of weeks of international break. He's probably gonna miss the Brentford, but he's going to come back, Matisse. He is going to come back. He's not going for... And once he's back, bro, João Pedro, business as usual. João Pedro up top, Palmer behind, Estevao on the right. So he's definitely going to be in the bench. And you know, whenever we need it, he'll come on and give that little bit of relief for João Pedro. But on that as well, Matisse, like I was just saying to Don, bro, players like Salah, bro, he plays every Premier League game and he plays every important Champions League game. We shouldn't be worried that, but now I'm going to have to rely on João Pedro to play every game. Bro, yeah, I do rely on you to play every game. It's the Premier League. It's the Champions League. You're our best player. Yes, I rely on you to play every game. Like, when has that become a crazy thought or a crazy expectation? Like, okay, maybe I don't expect you to play the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, but João Pedro, I expect you to start every Premier League game. I do. Like, is that too crazy? Some of the best players do that.
Yeah, I mean, boy, then he's come in and just straight up there to the top of the pecking order. You must. That's mad.
Must.
It's mad because he's only just arrived. But that's credit to him, isn't it? Because he's come in and he's made himself a key player. So he's just got to be that guy.
Go look at all the guys that have been competing, Matisse. Yeah, like, bro, Arsenal, you already know. With Arsenal, one thing about them, bro, yeah, you can read their lineup every single week with your eyes closed because most of the time it's the same team. Yeah, it's the same guys week in, week out. Whereas with us, at least we change things in certain positions. Yeah, Sometimes you might start this guy in midfield. Sometimes you start this guy on the left. Sometimes you start that guy on the right. So we're actually quite unpredictable. But there's certain players in this team that have to be starting most of the games. Every team have their key players that start most of the games, right?
Yeah.
And it's no different for us.
Absolutely. Look, for me, I didn't like the way we handled that Jackson situation. You know that. I thought we were.
How would you have liked us to handle it then?
I've
already explained about that situation. We had to upgrade on the guy, bro. It's
we did, but we did. In the end, we didn't get the 10 that we wanted, or that we wanted to say that we wanted, and we pushed out that we wanted. I believe we did want Xavi Simons. And when you are not in control of the money that is coming in for these two individuals, you need to play your cards way closer to your chest than that, in my opinion. You shouldn't have made it so abundantly clear that he had to leave. You didn't have to sell him. I said this throughout the whole window.
No, I thought you talking about Xavi. Wait, with Jackson?
No. With Jackson, you didn't have to sell him. This is the point I was making, because you could have easily said this season what we've got is we've got 3 strikers, and one of those strikers can play 10, and he's played 10 the last 2 weeks. And by the way, look, let's see how João Pedro is in the 9 week in, week out, because obviously Club World Cup. But boy, in this position that he's played last 2 games, boy's got G&A. It's been good.
Yeah,
man, the match last week. So I don't even feel I'm not even happy to say, oh, we're just gonna never see him in this position again. That's the point I was making. He allows us to play 2 up front. He acts as a third man in midfield. He's more combative actually right now than Palmer. He's going to win more fouls. He's going to win more tackles. He's in our box defending, clearing headers. Do we know what we have?
I was saying that before you walked on.
That's a big.
Limiting this brother to just up front. I don't know.
You make some good points, right? But then the conversation here is, what will Jackson want? That's what you keep missing consistently. Because you're just thinking about what the club wants. It's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna play João Pedro in the 10 sometimes, and we're gonna play this guy here. Okay, cool. But what if Jackson's got people on his line saying, bro, you're gonna play on the left most of the time. Link up with Harry Kane. You're gonna play behind Harry Kane, right? You're gonna be starting most of the games. If you went to Villa, you're starting most of our games. You're gonna start on the left for me, yeah, like you did with me in Spain. That's what Emery's gonna be telling him. Yeah, you've got Man United. He starts for Man United week in, week out. So when he's got all these other top teams after him and they're offering him more game time, they're offering him more of an important role, a player like Jackson is gonna want to take that, bro. Especially after the 2 years where he's been starting for Chelsea. You're not deep in that. He's been starting for Chelsea for 2 years, and then now he's been demoted. The reality is he has been demoted, bro. As we know what Jackson's temperament is like. He was never gonna accept it, bro. And that's one thing that you're failing to comprehend. For me, what you're saying is very fair, Matise, but you're not really thinking about Jackson in this. You're not really thinking about him. You're thinking more about what the club. You're not really thinking about that.
Yeah, but I think what you're doing is you're making an assumption when really the report was, I'm prepared to fight for my place. And that could have been the end of the conversation if Chelsea responded with, we are happy to have you fight for your place. But that is not the situation. The situation is UEFA, with our restrictions, we needed to sell 2 players. And that is what we push to do. And when you push someone out the door, as often as we continue to say, you need to go, we need to sell in Cuckoo Jackson, that was always 2 out, 2 in, 2 out, 2 in. Well, then of course the player is going to start to entertain to leave. And he wasn't going to start at Bayern Munich.
It was widely reported. It was widely reported, yeah, that the club are happy to keep Jackson. But if
I saw that as well.
Yeah, like from everywhere, bro. Athletic, Fabrizio, and that they were saying many times. They were saying many times, like, we will keep him if we don't get a suitable offer. But he if you're looking at the striker market right now, yeah, let's say you're not even a Chelsea fan. You're looking at the striker market right now. You'll be looking at thinking, you know what? I could do with a look at Jackson, I can't lie. Let's go look at Jackson. Why not? Right? He's not the best finisher, but he can contribute to the team. And many clubs were looking at it like that. He was never going to be like a Sterling or like a Chilwell and have 0 offers. He was always going to have clubs coming in for him in a market where there's barely any strikers like that, bro. Yeah? Man's been at Chelsea, bro.
Do you know what? I want to just quickly ask this to Matisse. I asked this to Don. Matisse, we're not going to forget last season. There were times where Jackson was making us pull our hair out. Like, we're not going to forget those days, right? So we've asked for. I still remember Eunice saying, "Nah, Yap stamp treatment to this guy, get him gone." Right? We've all said all sorts of stuff about Jackson last season, but at the same time, we've all also agreed that he brings a lot to the team. He's got a lot of good skill set that he brings to the plate. So the club does what they needed to do, goes and gets João Pedro, goes and gets Delap. Indirectly or directly, I don't know, but surely Jackson looked at that and felt, well, you've brought in Delap and João Pedro. Both João Pedro has specifically said publicly that I'd like to be a striker. Yes, now he's playing as a 10, but his preference is as a striker, right? And we've seen his connection with Palmer and himself and everyone else in Club World Cup, especially in the final. They lit it up. Don't you think Jackson's looking at that and thinking, I don't want, like, I've gone from being 2 seasons in a row as a number 1. I don't want to be why do I need to prove myself again? Like, I am the number 1. I want to be an important player.
If he feels like that, then that's delusional, because you do need to prove yourself constantly at Chelsea. When we had Didier Drogba, he was bringing in Torres, bringing in Shevchenko, bringing in Anelka, bringing in striker after striker after striker to compete and sometimes even potentially take Didier Drogba's place, because Roman Abramovich had fetishes for certain strikers. He loved the striker market and he had his own favorites, right? Now, my thing is with that situation, if that is the case, and I always said this, if Jackson does not want to be here, sell him. However, I maintain that my 3-striker rule made sense. And here's why. Because how does Delap get injured? How does Delap get injured? And suddenly now we're stressing ourselves on deadline day. We're calling Jackson back. Oh no, we wanted you to go to Munich, but let's embarrass ourselves and ask you to come back on this flight and return back to London. Let's embarrass ourselves and cut a deal short with Bayern Munich because we've just got one injury to a striker. Forget Palmer for a second. Like I said, one injury to a striker, and what are we going to do? And as soon as that injury happened, if that injury happened away to Brentford, what would we? You would still be at Sunderland. Jackson would be in Munich, and we would be in the shit. And this is my point. You need to have 3 options, and especially when one of those options is positioning versatile. There's 3 options in every other position. If I go to left back, you could, or I go to right back, we can put Achampong left back. We can go Achampong, Gusto, James right back. If I go centre back, we got like 6 centre backs.
Yeah, so I can.
If I go midfield, hold on. If I go midfield, there's a whole heap of options in midfield. The point is we now have 3 strikers. That's the point. We ended the window with 3 strikers. It's now Guy, Delap, and Pedro. Last season, we had Jackson in Cuckoo, was misprofiled, and Maresca called him a striker at the start of the season, and we had Guy. So how do we go from having 3 strikers last season, and then this season, when we had more competition, everybody was willing to have 2 strikers?
Guy's going to go, as soon as Delap comes back, Guy's going to have to go in January again. Matisse, tell me one other Premier League team that has 3 strikers.
Tell me one other Premier League team that even acts the way we've acted in markets in the last few years. I don't care what other Premier League teams have. I don't care. I don't care what other Premier League teams have. Hold on. We do things differently.
That's not my point, by the way. That's
I know. We want to do things differently until it's time to do something that with I said injuries are coming. I said we're gonna have issues if one guy gets injured off the bench. There's gonna be no option up front. And now it's what's everybody else doing? I don't care what everybody else does. Everybody else are gonna find out fast. They're either gonna get lucky with injuries or they're gonna find out. It's one or the other.
I hear what Matisse is saying. He wants that cover. I hear it, Matisse. And listen, we're with you, bro. We would have loved Jackson to be a 3rd choice. I would have loved it. That would have been unbelievable. That would have been the best, probably the best 3 strikers in Europe in terms of the options, bro. Delap, João Pedro, Delap. That's amazing. But in reality, that was never going to happen, right? You know, I said this earlier on the pod before you joined, yeah? You know the type of players that are always 3rd choice, bro. It's always the Giroud type of players, the
that's what I'm getting players, to. Exactly.
Yeah? Or the youth team players like Mweka and these sort of guys, right? And if you actually go break down the team right now, for me, I believe that João Pedro and Delap was going to be the striker options, but emergency option was going to be like a Pedro Neto up top, yeah? Like a Pedro Neto up top, like what we did with him last season. Yeah, that is what I believe was going to be the thing. And it actually came out on the Athletic as well that they see Pedro Neto as someone that could potentially play up top. I thought he did all right up there when he was playing there a few games. If you got to play him there a few games, it's whatever. Everyone's gonna have to find internal solutions. That's why these managers get paid all the money they do. That's why Pep gets paid all that money. Maresca gets paid all this money because you have to find internal solutions. You've just spoken about playing Josh at left back or whatever. So why can't you have that same logic for João Pedro up top?
He has to. He has to.
Pedro Neto up top. Sorry.
He has to now. But my point is, and this is where we're gonna have to agree to disagree. Is I don't believe that Jackson is now of the level where you're just third choice and you're not moving from there. I'm more than happy to say João Pedro is clear. He's starting every week, whether that's in the 10 up front, he's first choice. But I'm not gonna have this Delap and Jackson can't battle logic. I'm not having it because Delap is not some sort of profiles. Exactly. But Delap is not some sort of untouchable player for Chelsea where he can't battle with Jackson, right? There's no reason why Delap can't sit on the bench. There's no reason why we can't rotate with 2 games a week. Jackson sometimes starts, sometimes Delap. There's no reason why sometimes Palmer doesn't go to the right. You've got João Pedro, you've got Delap, you've got Jackson on the bench, you've got wingers on the bench, and it's Gittins and Garnacho. We don't know who's going to be out injured. We don't know who's going to be in form. For me personally, I think if we had that option, forget Jackson for a second. Forget Jackson for a second. If we had a Giroud type striker, and this is what goes against the model. If we had a Giroud type striker come in, that would have been ideal because now you've got balance up there with a different profile, somebody that just knows their role, but we can still rely upon them to do that type.
So let me just quickly add something before Don adds onto this. I've got no problems with having 3. I get your logic. What I'm trying to say is Jackson, Delap, and João Pedro. You're saying that give minutes. This guy will get some minutes here. That guy. They're not here for this minutes and that minutes, Matisse. Jackson wants all the minutes. Like I think we need to deep that.
If that's the case, if that's the case, then
he's not getting it. He's not. Did you not see his face in the World Cup on the bench? Did you not see his face? You know what he's like. You know what he's like. Matisse says, no, fuck all that, Miz, yeah? You've known Jackson now. You've known Jackson now for over 2 years. Jackson has had Jeff Hardy Mohicans. Jackson has had blue candy floss in his hair. Yeah, Jackson has been sent off numerous times.
Man doesn't want to be in the bench,
bro. He doesn't. Jackson was on the bench and ran from the bench when we had Poch, yeah, to go celebrate with the team and got his ass booked. Yeah, Jackson was getting yellow card after yellow card after yellow card. You know what type of player that Jackson is? He's a petulant guy. Yeah, he's got an ego clearly, right? You know the guy's personality. If you look at Palmer right now, you can say, okay, Palmer's quite nonchalant, right? You look at Cucurella. Cucurella's a joker, yeah? You look at Reece. Reece is an introvert. He's a little bit quiet, but he leads by example, yeah? You can go through all of our players, Matisse, and you can talk to us about their personality. You know Jackson's personality, bro. He was never going to be happy to just be, if this guy gets injured, yeah, you can come play. Oh, okay, bro, certain times we might play you up top.
Imagine sitting down with Jackson and go, hey, Jackson, look, compete, train hard, but this week I'm actually starting João Pedro. Maybe next week I'll think about you. Bro, Jackson be like, no, maybe you think about me every day. How about you think about me every single day, every second? None of this João Pedro, none of this Delap, me. Because, Matisse, the profile that we have, they all want us. As I said, if we had João Pedro, Delap, and a Giroud, perfect, because Giroud is not complaining. Giroud's happy to be in the bench and help out when we need.
That'd be fantastic.
This is why I was like, yeah, but our model, our owners, they don't believe
our model, and that's the thing. If that fee is finalized next summer for Jackson, this is where I'm separating business from football. That fee is fantastic. That fee is absolutely insane. I said I'd sell him
70 million.
I'd sell him for 60. 70 is crazy. Yeah. So now Gu has to step up. Now Gu has to step up.
Matisse, I'm telling you, hold me to this.
Hold me to this. That's all I'm saying.
Hold me to this, bro. Just give him the minutes, please. Hold me to this.
It's not me, it's Maresco.
I know. We spoke about it earlier. He was asleep. I said, bro, he needs to trust him this time around. He has to. Right?
He does.
For me personally, I actually think in the second half of the season, he would have trusted him more. But he got injured. That's the problem. When Jackson wasn't there, Gil wasn't there. So Neto had to play up top. And that's what I'm saying. Neto was the third option up top. He wasn't the best up top. Like
100% he was the third option. Because Maresca's thinking, even if there's an injury, I'm not planning for a 3-month, 6-month injury. You don't plan like that. You may plan for, little niggly injuries, couple of weeks off, 3 weeks off, no problems. Pedro Neto will fill in. No one goes into the season. Yeah, I'm planning on Delap to be 3 months off. I'm planning João Pedro to be 4 months off. Bro, you can't plan like that.
You can't.
then you need superstars like everywhere.
And that's exactly why when you sign a player, one of the main things you do, you look at their injury record to see what they're like, right? The less injury, obviously, any player can get injured at any point. I'm not arguing that you can't get injured because your injury record's good. But go and look at Delap and João Pedro's injury record, bro. It's very good. Very good. Delap last season, he missed the game against us. I think he had a hip injury or something like that, right? But if you go check it, there's barely nothing on it. There's barely nothing on it. João Pedro, his longest injury, I think, was at Watford, bro. And at Brighton, he missed a couple games as well. But if you check his record, it's actually quite good, you know? So we bought players that don't get injured the way that Delap's just been injured. This is probably Delap's longest injury in his career. Yeah? I was there, I see man go down, I'm thinking, come on, bro. You're fit, you're a fit guy. And now you're seeing 2-3 months. It's just our luck. It's just our luck, bro. Yeah?
Look, I've seen people talk about Arsenal. They've got Gyökeres, Havertz. So Havertz is now a bona fide striker. So he's like, we're deeming him as a striker. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Jesus is finished as well. Jesus is finished, bro.
I don't remember the last time Jesus played, so I can understand why they've gone for another shot. Like that lineup that you've just said, Gyökeres for me is the out-and-out striker. Havertz for me is not really. He's I don't know, as Thomas Tuchel once said, he's a 9.5. Havertz for me is not really an out-and-out striker. Don't move like a striker. Do you know what I mean? And Jesus is injury prone. Even with Spurs, Richarlison, Solanke, Kolomuani, sure, now Kolomuani's in. Yeah, good luck between Richarlison and Solanke. Who's going to get the minutes?
Solanke's injured as well. He's injured right now. He's injured.
And he's injured. So,
and I'm telling you now, they would have never signed Kolomuani if Solanke didn't get injured, because he got injured the other day. I think he's out for the next few weeks, few months, whatever.
Yeah, they wouldn't have gone for it.
That's just another example of a club that if the striker had got injured after the international break, they'd also be screwed. They're in 4 competitions. How can you have one striker 4 competitions? For me, the perfect harmony in any club competing on 4 fronts is 2 strikers and 1 guy that can play up front and a couple of other positions. And I just want to ask, right, what would you guys rate the window? Because from a business perspective, for me, footballing perspective is always first because I'm a fan, right? But from a business perspective, incredible window. In fact, I would only say Gittins is probably we overpaid for him. But everybody else, I can't even complain with the price. And then obviously selling and whatnot. But what would you guys like out of 10? What would you mark it?
Look, I would have liked to get a goalkeeper, but that was, deemed from the beginning that was not going to happen. But it looks like our defense is a lot more stronger than last season. So maybe we can do without the goalkeeper situation for the time being. Levi Colwill, no one expected that. No one expected that. So for us to then go into the market and find a replacement for Levi Colwill in such a short notice and find exactly what Maresca wants, a middle guy that can play. He doesn't want another defender, just any other defender. So that CB conversation's dead as well. I look at us getting back Esteval. I look at us getting back Andre Santos. I look at us, doing very well with João Pedro, and I rated that from the get-go. Gittins, I was never truly on board, but he's a development player, and Garnacho, I'm not too keen. So honestly speaking, Matisse, I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, bro, that's probably like a 7 out of 10 for me. Like, that's okay. That's fine. Like, we've got a good solid team already. Like, you see Tosin, you see Chalobah. Like, you're telling me they're so far below everyone else. I don't think so, man.
It's mad. Well, honestly, the perspective.
You look at Cucurella, probably the best left back in the. Oh, I forgot Jarell Hato. So we've got a replacement for Cucurella as well. Malo Gusto starting to look a lot better than what he was last season. Early days, but it all started from the Club World Cup. Reece James seems to be a lot fitter. We've got that midfield. Caicedo, probably the best midfielder in the league.
He is the best midfielder in the league.
I reckon we've added to that with Esteval Willian, with João Pedro. So for me, look, I'd give it a 7 out of 10, and that's probably being generous, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. But I see numbers like 2. I see numbers like 5. I see numbers like 3. It's not been. I don't know. I don't think it's been a disaster. I do agree with you, Matisse, that it ended poor. It ended poor. They gave us the dream of Xavi Simons. They gave us all of these rumors about Fermin Lopez. You shouldn't have done that. you shouldn't have done that if we were so cash like strapped with UEFA.
Is you forgot Buonanotte that they brought in. Obviously, we didn't get Xavi, but they brought in Buonanotte. And you know what's
a decent player.
You know what's so peak about that situation as well, yeah? Because now because people are angry with the sporting directors and that with what's happened with Xavi, they're now acting like Buonanotte shit. When in reality, he's a good player, right? He's another guy that Brighton have found and managed to scout, and he's a talent, bro. Yeah,
he's a decent player, but look,
I
watch a lot of Brighton, bro.
Yeah, I watched this guy live at the bridge, and he was bro. The tech on the ball, the way he keeps the ball close to him, the close control, he's a good player, man. But the thing is, he's another one that will just be used for the cups and that. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Last year we threw away the cups, Matisse, man. Like I want to win. I want to win a trophy, bro.
Same, absolutely. That's exactly how I am. Even George staying now is I don't know what to think about that, because 20
extra body, man. Extra body.
Yeah, it's an extra body, but 22 million for George was a great sale again. It's another great sale. The way they've sold this window, I was looking through it this morning. If you go and look at the sales, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, but I would rank it like a 6.5, and then depending on how Buonanotte and Garnacho in particular they do, that would take it up. That's a big part of it. Not even Buonanotte, more Garnacho. Garnacho is the one for me that I was not keen on at all. I feel like when we got Gittins, I was like, okay, there's our developing winger. Now let's hopefully get someone a little bit more established. Even if you got okay, Rodrigo, that was a dream. Forget it. I'm not trying to be unrealistic. Even if you got like a Semenyo, like a 25-year-old, he's ready to start in the Prem now. Let's just low wages. Let's just go get someone like that, and then you got someone developing behind him or whatever. Then I would have. But for me, I feel like a 6.5. That's why I said this. I think that we failed. And I'm not saying we failed long-term, medium-term, but I think for the manager and look, this is how I see it. We just won 2 trophies. There's a certain mentality shift that's just happened in the club, in the fan base, in the manager's head, in the stadium, hopefully, in the group. And I feel like a 6.5 or a 7, I don't feel like that's good enough. I don't feel like that's good enough for what this manager.
You wanted to capitalize.
I wanted to punch everybody in their face. I wanted to end this window and be like, I'm still saying, well, let's go for the Premier League.
Me too.
I don't even care I don't even care what's happened in the last few days. Like, it's not changing anything. We're going for the Premier League. However,
same here. Bro, I'm telling you, Matisse, anything can happen. Yeah,
absolutely.
Remember last season I said to you, I smell blood. Remember I said to you, I smell blood.
Yeah. I smell it too. Right now, I smell it right now. I smell it right now.
I'm smelling it again. I'm still smelling it again.
That could be shit. That could be shit.
In Finding Nemo, when the shark, you smell it in the water. You smell the blood.
You know how I'm looking at things, Matisse, right now. Yeah, cool. I can't look at our team and say I feel confident we're going to win the league. If you give me Van Dijk and Konate, if you give me Saliba and Gabriel, even with Sanchez in goal, I'll say we're winning the league, right? Because for me, that's probably the weakest part of our team. But even without those type of centre backs, we're not going to act like Tosin and Chalobah are useless. I've crashed on Chalobah a lot, but he's been very good for months now. Yeah, Tosin as well, bro. That guy. I don't think people watch what these guys do defensively, because when I'm speaking to rivals and the way they talk about our centre backs, you would think that they just get run past and they don't know how to defend. I see Tosin in the box, especially on corners that we have to defend, just clearing them out. I see him blocking shots. I see him clearing the ball. I see him building up from the back. I see Chalobah, when teams are trying to counter us, stopping a lot of counter attacks, bro. I see these things, but people go on about them like they're useless, right? Yes, we can upgrade on them, cool. But they're not bad defenders. They can actually defend. They're good players. They're good squad players to have, right? But then you're looking at the team overall, like Miz has said, there is so many positions where I'm looking at it that are better than Liverpool's, bro. That are better than Man City's, bro. That are better than Arsenal's, bro. Yeah, I think our style of play is better than Arsenal's. I think our style of play is better than Man City's. Yeah, we've got some of the best style of play in world football right now. At our best. When you watch Chelsea playing, Roms is normally at the bridge, yeah, because he's got a few things he's got to do at the bridge at times. And he's like, bro, watching you, man, is actually a joy. Yeah, and that's a Liverpool fan saying that, right? A lot of my friends tell me, I can't lie, the way Chelsea play, I enjoy watching their football, right?
So, Don, you know what I'll tell you.
just to finish off, Miz,
Yeah.
we might not win the league,
Yeah.
but for me, we've still got more than enough to be leaving with something this season. Even if we fall short of the league, leave me with an FA Cup, leave me with a League Cup, go to the Champions League semi-finals at least, bro. Yeah, we still have something to work with right now, Matisse. I'm not gonna be sitting here crying because we didn't get a centre back. We still got some top players in here, man.
I want the centre back. For me, it's the left wing situation and the striker situation.
Yeah.
I think it's the attack.
That's the suspect.
The attack for me is the question mark. I think there's too much of an over-reliance now on Esteval, and I was never trying to have that. I always want to just kind of let that kid just kid out. You know what I'm saying? And Neto's got a big season ahead of him. He wasn't great last year. So now Neto's got to lock in. Neto's got to produce a season. He's probably not even produced in his career in the Premier League, which is, I need you to be the winger. All these other kids around you that are young, inconsistent, developing, Pedro Neto, I need you to be one of the best wingers in the league this season. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And do you know what, Matisse?
Like,
That's fair, though. That's a fair
that's what it is. That's what it is.
Expectation.
And so there's a lot of guys that have to do things they've never done. That's what I'm saying. There's no evidence of it. So now go and get it done. It's not for a 3-month period. It's not for a tournament. Pedro Neto's got to be one of the best wingers in this league, because he's got to play 100%. Every week. 100%. Because the rest of the guys, I have to expect inconsistency. I have to expect ups and downs. I have to expect immaturity. It may be. You never know. That's what we have. We have an 18, a 20, and a 21. The other thing, what was the other thing I was going to say? I have no issue with the defense. I have no issue with the defense. I like that. We have a lot of defenders. We have to trust them. We have a lot of defenders.
Do you know what, Matisse? That, I want to put that expectation on these players now. Yes, Pedro Neto, you've been brought into Chelsea. We're not here to babysit you anymore. One game, you're here to now deliver. You've been playing really, really well, and kudos to you for that. You've been defending like a monster as well, Pedro Neto, and I rate Pedro Neto a lot. But yeah, the expectation's on. You have to now have your best season of your life. There's nothing wrong in having that kind of expectation. And if they can't deliver, then down the track, bro, we've got Cuenda lined up. We've got, Kendry Paez, this, that, the other. We've got players lined up. So you better perform. Do you know what I mean? So
I don't know if you guys have noticed though, yeah. Now that Esteval has been showing a little bit of, real quality on that side, I'm seeing Neto just trying to do something as well. You see Neto get on the ball and he'll try to do a little, a little dribble or a little step over and that, right? Because he's looking at Esteval and it's like, yo, you're showing me up. You're showing me up. So when the quality of the teams are going up, and you're seeing what your colleagues are doing, you have to raise your level, because like you're saying, Quenda's around the corner. For me this season, I think Neto will actually score more goals. You saw him score against West Ham. You see a lot of those back post goals.
See the back post. See the back post. He's attacking the back post a lot more.
He's attacking it a lot more. And you've got João Pedro, who's very good in the air. Gil is actually good in the air as well. And we know Neto likes those crosses. So there's actually players now that are going to be getting on the end of them, not Jackson ball watching. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? Do you know what? Go on, Matisse. Go.
No, I was just going to say, do you know what? Do you know what's so funny now? Is the way I see it, Esteval's got to start. Neto's
he does.
He's got to start, but that I always saw Neto as someone that could play both flanks. This is why I didn't get the need for Garnacho as much, because I see Garnacho and Neto as similar in some ways, where I feel like Neto will do that kind of job on the left anyway. He works hard. He makes runs off the ball. He could crash the back post. So it's like, now I feel like we have 3 left wing options. And yeah, we got Neto can go on the right, but we want to see maybe Esteval more. So I'm interested to see how that's managed, because you can't have Garnacho and Gittins out in the cold. You got to use them now. I'm expecting Garnacho to play a lot of minutes on that left.
Matisse, ask Barcelona fans how they talk about Yamal. Ask how they feel about Yamal. Must play every game. Yamal, how old is this kid, bro? How old is this kid? Do you know what I mean? He's like, did he just turn 18 or something recently?
18, yeah.
18. So Esteval, for me, why not? He's been playing week in, week out for Palmeiras. That Brazilian league is no joke, Matisse, bro. I've seen some of the Brazilian games lately. I'm keeping a tab on it. That is not a joke of a league, bro. And he was playing there week in, week out. He's a lot more ready than we actually think he is. Do you know what I mean?
He's ready. So, and now he got called up for Brazil as well. And this time around, you're going to see him start for Brazil, if anything. Because when he went before, they had him there on the bench. They brought him on Mickey Mouse minutes and that. But he's showing why he needs to be playing. Yeah, we saw what he did to Bassi. I was telling Miz earlier, Matisse. Yeah, Fulham played United last week. Mbuemo was up against Bassi. He did nothing to Bassi, bro. Nothing. Esteval should have been getting on the ball a lot more because we haven't really spoken about the game. He should have been getting the ball a lot more. Yeah. The lady that was sitting next to me at the game was like, she literally said to me, she was like, "Oh, watching Esteval is a privilege, bro." And this woman looks like she's in her 50s, probably. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? You're spot on. It is honestly a privilege watching this guy. Yeah. When I'm watching him, he feels, the other day he felt like the best player. He felt like the best player on the pitch. Away from João Pedro, he felt like the best player on the pitch. I'll be real.
100%, man. And the other thing that I wanted to quickly add was I didn't see rival teams previously for the past 3 seasons. Every time we'd go into a fixture, but not a single team gave us respect, you know. Like they didn't, like, they thought, you know what, Chelsea, fair game, let's take them on. I see now teams, forget about the top teams, obviously looking at us going, yeah, this is going to be a difficult fixture against them. But even other teams like your Palaces, your West Hams, your Fulhams, like they buckle when they see Chelsea. They really do. And the more we keep winning like this, the more we keep building this mentality. I love the fact winning the game before the whistle has even been blown, the kickoff whistle. Back in the days when we used to have teams like that, as soon as they saw us in the tunnel, oh shit, it's over for us. It's starting to feel like that with this team. Like, no one wants to see Caicedo in our starting lineup. No one wants to see, João Pedro now up front. So look, it's going to keep building. It's going to keep building, and I like it this way, man. Honestly, let's go through the super chats, and we're going to slowly wrap things up. Harry, thank you so much for this. Love the show, guys, each and every time. Appreciate that, my man. Assad, thank you, my man. Not creating chances this season. Set piece FC. Look, I'm welcoming the set piece because we used to get a lot of set pieces last season. We didn't do much, and now slowly it looks like we're cashing in. I'm all down for that, but at the same time, who's saying that we're not creating chances? We are creating chances. Maybe against Fulham, the first half wasn't the greatest half, of course, but in the second half, the control came back. And we did our job. And not every game we're going to blow the team away. If you think every single game we're going to blow teams away, you're having a laugh. There will be games where we do need set pieces to take us across.
It's an extra weapon, bro. Like, again, this is what I always tell Chelsea fans, bro. Watch other teams, especially teams that are going to be competing. Go watch them. I've seen many games where Arsenal aren't amazing. Yeah, they're not having a great game. Set piece, they win. Yeah,
bro, Liverpool just won 1-0.
Yeah. There's going to be many games where you're not at your best, but the best teams will find a way to win, and that's why they end up being title contenders. That's why they end up winning the league. If you think you're going to be 10 out of 10 every week, I don't know what world you're living in, bro. That's not the reality. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work that way. Assad, again, talk about Enzo playing like Bakayoko versus... Look, Enzo, even though he got the goal and the assist, it wasn't the best performance, but I'm never going to downplay Enzo. I know what the real Enzo, once it does arrive very, very soon, what he can start doing, because Enzo, in that final third and leading up to the Club World Cup and the Conference League, bro, that guy was undroppable. That guy was immense. Defensively, offensively, everything. So it's up to you if you want to talk down on Enzo Fernandez again. But I'm telling you, this guy is a South American dog. Like
he was shocking in the first half, though. That first half,
he was.
I was calling for Santos. I was calling for Santos to come in. Like, he could barely even get the ball out of his feet. Like, people need to realize Enzo is not a great ball carrier, right? His footwork ain't great. That's why I wanted Xavi Simons in the team, because Xavi Simons, on those counter-attacks that we're getting against Fulham, he will find the pass. Enzo struggles to find that pass when he's running at speed, right? Because Enzo naturally is a controller. He dictates games. He likes to get the ball, have a bit of time to sort out his feet. He'll play the pass. When he's running at speed, his footwork ain't the best. So you're going to see that sometimes from him. That's the frustrating part, right? But I think he'll improve as the season goes on, man. He's had a slow start. But at least for him, he's got what? Is it 4 GA already?
Yeah, bro.
And he hasn't even been. He's been meaty as well.
Exactly.
He was better second half. He was better second half, but first half
100%.
He was horrendous. 100%. Jesus Christ.
Harry, thank you so much for the super chat. Rate Mark Yu. Barca wanted to keep for a reason. Look, with Mark Yu, I know Don rates him a lot. All I'm saying is the only way he's going to improve is he needs game time. And by that, what I mean is whenever we get an opportunity to give him 10, 15 minutes on a regular basis, all of that will count and all of that will help. And then, of course, in the FA Cup, I saw Matise's video, like he's cup tied. Like for Carabao Cup, Mark Gu's not going to be able to play. But FA Cup, early rounds, why not? Let's see if Mark Gu can do something. And Champions League matches against, Carabao? Who do we have in the Champions League? There's a couple of teams that we should be taking care of.
Carabao and Paphos, I think. Paphos.
Yeah, so those ones, Mark Gu should be lining them up and trying to have a field day on those matches. Kofi, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you guys think Sancho regrets not staying at Chelsea? Because Chelsea to Villa is spooky, giving the facts that no team was able to add his wages. Look,
he don't regret it.
Yeah,
he's got his money. He's still got his money. He don't regret it at all. He just cares about his money. Let's be real.
From the moment he stepped out of Chelsea, he knew he was downgrading after that. So
yeah. All I'm going to say about Sancho, I think he cares more about money than football. So that's how I feel about Sancho, because there was a deal for him at Chelsea. Like there's been lots of reports that he was actually offered even more than the 150,000 ceiling that we have. I think he was offered something around 180,000 to stay. He ain't letting go of the 300 or whatever K he's on with Man United. He's not letting go of that. So
crazy.
I think he cares a lot more about the money than the football itself. He doesn't care where. The brother was this close to going to Besiktas because Besiktas was going to offer him the same type of money.
Bro, he's had Roma. Remember, Roma came in. He said no to them. Yeah, he doesn't regret it, bro. He done a job at Chelsea, bro. He's a Chelsea fan, for God's sake. He's from Kennington. He was in London. That was perfect for him, right? And he still said no. Sweetie, I'm telling you, Sweetie. Yeah. Every month he must be getting a private jet to London or wherever he is, and cashing out on her every single time. Because to me, I'm like, surely you'd want to now kick on in your career because you're only 25. You've still got something you can give. His career hasn't been the career that we expected when we're seeing this guy doing what he was doing in Germany. It's a shame. It's a shame, man.
It's a shame.
It's a shame.
It is a shame, and I won't be surprised if Aston Villa don't buy him after this season, and then he ends up going somewhere else.
What's so crazy about it as well is, I think United are going to trigger another year. So Sancho's a thief, innit? If they trigger another year, he's basically going to be getting paid for another year.
Why because they want to sell? Yeah.
They want to sell. They want to sell.
It don't make sense because you're getting offers. It's the player that's not getting the wages that he wants.
Yeah,
they've had offers from Roma. They literally accepted the offer from Roma, but it's Sancho that turned down the move, right? Chelsea offered the money. Sancho turned down the move. So why are you extending his contract? Just let him go on a free.
Some lovely news here though, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek's called into the England squad. 29.
Wow.
He's 29.
Crazy, innit?
Thomas Tuchel does rate him. Thomas Tuchel does rate him.
His birthday's the day before me. I think the day.
Matisse, do you remember the days when you used to call him
brick on skates?
Bricks on skates.
He's 29. That's mad.
He's 29. It's mad, bro. It's mad.
That's mad, man.
Bro, big up to him, man. I hope he
so
does
happy
well for
him,
England.
Though, yeah.
If he does actually get game time,
Lord.
Yeah, bro. You're obviously going to watch all of the England matches now. Now Thomas Tuchel's in the helm. I have exactly the same opinion as Matisse on Jackson. Let's not assume Jackson didn't want to play second fiddle. We also know Jackson's problem. Look, I don't want to get into that Jackson debate. I think ultimately, player got what he wanted and the club got what they wanted, and that's how it all ended. Ultimately, T1, thank you. What's up, guys? Have you guys talked about Enzo? It's all well and good, and he gets GA, but I feel his main responsibility should be controlling games and tempo. Look, I think the way Enzo is now being deployed by Maresca is further up, so he doesn't really get to control the tempo. The tempo is really being controlled by our defenders, by the two CBs.
Yeah.
I think this is the shift in paradigm that we need to start understanding. Our tempo is controlled by the CBs. It was controlled by Lever Colwell. It was controlled by Tosin. Our midfielders don't really control the tempo. Caicedo is not the one who's controlling tempo. Enzo is very further up. He controls the tempo in the final third these days. So it's the CBs that are controlling the tempo. That's how I look at it.
Second half, he was actually dropping back a bit more to like help with the build up.
Yeah.
Second half,
and I think
he was better. Second half, he was better. Second half, man.
I think there will be games where he will need to be more closer to the defenders, and then there'll be games where he'll need to be more closer to the attackers. Yeah. Really depends on what the opposition brings. Morientes, thank you for this super chat, but you could have put a comment, but nonetheless. Faisal, once again, thank you, my man. Xavi take was a diversionary tactic, so the fan base be sedated toward the Garbaggio deal. Same with Famin and Bonanotte. Look, I am a bit annoyed, and I said this in my video about the whole Xavi Simons. This guy only wanted us. I know now all of a sudden he's, with Spurs, and he's like, yeah, people make a lot of noise, this, that, the other. Brother, we all know you only wanted us. We all know that.
That's no shame.
Yeah, the problem is that there was a certain price that we wanted to buy him for, and we didn't want to go over that because of all of this UEFA sanctions nonsense that we got ourselves in. And Spurs said to Leipzig, we'll pay you whatever you want. So very difficult to deal with that. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, like these sporting directors are so annoying, bro, because they like a lot of players that I like, bro. They like a lot of players that I like, because people chat shit to me all the time about, oh, you just like everything that Clearlake does, and I'm like, where were you when I was crashing about the Almirodian thing? I didn't want to sign Almirodian, yeah. I didn't want to sign Adeyemi when was linked to Adeyemi, right? There's been a couple names that we've had over the years where I'm like, nah, I don't want this guy. Garnacho was another one. I didn't want him, but they have, bro. There's Palmer, yeah. There's Duran, yeah. Even Almirodian, he murdered a lot of people because he was.
Bro, Adam Wharton was one of them as well. Long time back.
Wharton, yeah. Andre Santos. You knew about Andre Santos before we found this guy, right? Andre Santos, Asugo. You know what I'm saying? Esteval. Like, bro, they've found a lot of good players. So when I just have to be real about it. I'm annoyed about the Xavi thing, but I have to be honest. I like Bonanotte. I like him. I like what I've seen of him. I think he's a good player, man. I just don't know how much Maresca will use it.
Yeah, that's all about Maresca now, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah,
it's closed now. It's all about Maresca and who he trusts and who he doesn't. Because against low blocks, someone like Bonanotte is going to be very important potentially.
No, bro, you know what I like about it as well. Yeah, you know what I like about it as well. He's actually familiar with a few of the players already. Like João Pedro, obviously. We've got Sam Jewell from Brighton. He's familiar with Bonanotte as well, right?
He should know his Argentinian teammates. He should know all of that.
Enzo, yeah. There's a few Spanish speakers, so it should be a lot easier for him to transition. And people need to remember he's got Premier League experience. Yes, it was at Brighton, Leicester, but at least we've got someone that can play in the cups as well, man. We need to have a strong team for the cups.
100%, man. 100%. All right, lads, we're gonna wrap it up to the live chat as well. We're gonna wrap things up. It's been another fantastic episode. Obviously, we've got the international break. We'll see whether we do a show next week or not. If there's something popping off, then we might. If there's not, then we'll see whether we do one or not. Obviously, there's nothing happening this weekend, so we'll see. Matisse, what you got coming up, bro? Are you taking any time off during this international break? What's happening?
I am gonna. I've got the Chelsea kind of 6-man panel content to put out. Actually,
oh yes,
it's closed. So I'm working on that. That will come out in the next few days. And then I'm looking at the England. I'll look at the England games. I might cover those. I might watch those on a watch along or something. And there'll be a couple of videos here and there. Thomas Tuchel, innit? And now that I've seen Loftus-Cheek is in the squad, now
he's one of your favorites, huh?
Bro, he's one of my favorites, bro. I love Loftus.
Yeah, this guy.
Now
he's one of the best players I've seen come out of Cobham, honestly, bro. One of the best. One of the best, man.
Bro, 100. Bro, I just saw this name. Every time I forget about this name, Lavia. Bro, I forget that he's actually our player. So, yeah, that's another one that needs to be back.
We could do with him. We could do with him.
We could. Yeah, man.
Bro, him, Caicedo, that will push Enzo Fernandez further up. Or maybe you don't even play with Enzo Fernandez. Him and Caicedo, and then, you can play with Palmer, João Pedro, and whoever else, another extra attacker. So it does open things up a lot.
Lavia replicates what Cole does, bro. The way he punches the ball very similar to Cole, who just find that little space. Santos does it as well, but not to the level of Lavia.
100%, bro. We forget sometimes.
But Notte can play on the right as well, can't he? Which is
he can
good,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely on the.
He's good. I'm not.
I've seen him on the
I've got no
right.
issue with him. I've got no issue with him. He's alone. There's no risk. No risk.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Don, what you got coming up,
bro? Yeah, I mean, it's a break now, isn't it? You know what it is. Yeah, it's good actually having 3 points on an international break and that. It feels good.
Lovely.
You know what I mean? It feels amazing, man. So yeah, I think I'm gonna push out some content on Thursday with Ches and CB. We're gonna do a little something there. Friday, I'm gonna probably do something with a couple Arsenal fans, a couple Liverpool fans, probably a Spurs fan in there as well. So look out for that one, people. But yeah, we'll put out a show yesterday for transfer deadline day. So if you didn't get to watch it live, catch up on it, people, man. Don CFC. Big up.
100%. And the links for both Matise and Don is in the description. Make sure you guys follow, subscribe, check all of their content out. So yeah, me, business as usual, just whatever daily news is up. We'll see whether we do some international football content in terms of watch-alongs or whatnot. We'll see. But yeah, until next time, everyone, take care. So yeah, goodbye.